Welcome to the Rural Revival Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Larson. Today we're with Carli Ullrich of Rural Grit Co. out of Kiron, Iowa. Carli shares her journey of starting her business at just 16 years old while she was still in high school, how she expanded her product line, and the importance of consistency in growing her brand. She also reflects on her unique approach to business, explaining why she enjoys traveling to meet customers over having a brick-and-mortar store, at least for the time being, and how she finds ways to serve her customers' individual needs. Before we get started, did you know we have a branding agency that's part of Rural Revival? Our team is a group of small-town girls ready to help make your small business dreams come true. Need a website, logo, brand kit? Want to build an online course? Ready to launch a podcast? Want to grow your email list and your sales in 2025? We're here to help you build a brand you love and have some fun in the process. Find out more about how we can help you reach your marketing and branding goals this year at brandedbyruralrevival.co. And you can also find that link in the show notes. And now, here we go with Carli Ullrich. All right, well, we're here with Carli Ullrich of Rural Grit Co. out of Kiron, Iowa, which is right down the road from me. Carli, thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, tell me about you. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and kind of your journey before Rural Grit Co.
Yeah, so I grew up on the farm my whole life. My dad's a farmer. We had some cattle and we got into goats and some other fun little animals. But then I went to DMAC to I majored in egg business, and then I just graduated this past spring. Not really sure what exactly I wanted to do with that, but my internship through that, I was with a guy from Pioneer here in Odebolt, and that just kind of led into now my full-time job, and I now get to do, then Rural Grit Co. came into it, and then that's just my extra, I call it my fun job, even though I like, both my jobs are fun, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like the one that really does not feel like a job.
Yeah, very good. So have you always loved fashion and Western style?
Yes. Yep. I am my mom's child. I am a big shopper, love the clothes, all that stuff. And yes, love the Western fashion too. I got into that probably, I'd say my early high school years. I got into that, loving that. It was just kind of different. You know, people around here wear boots and whatnot, but diving deeper into that, you know, and then the social media stuff, I looked at a lot of influencers and it was just super fun creating outfits. And that's kind of what led me into getting all the clothes for Rural Grit and all that. So it was super fun.
I love it. So when did the idea come up for Rural Grit?
So actually, Rural Grit started during COVID. So I was a junior in high school. So I was only 16 years old at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it started with stamped jewelry. So it was just kind of my creative outlet. You know, we were all locked up, super bored.
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And I remember telling my mom, like, I'm going to buy these. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I need something to do. So it started with that. And then in August, my senior year, so not too long after, I got 3 shirts in and they sold within like 20 minutes of me posting. And I was like, whoa. And that was kind of my like, okay, I think I'm going to get some more, like, dive deeper into this side of things and get more clothing in. And I do still do my stamped jewelry, but big on the clothing now too.
Yeah. So was this all still during COVID? Was it all online?
Yes. Yep. I've always been all online. I started the stamp stuff just on Etsy and then, kind of switched into, now I have a website too.
I love it. So how did you come up with the name?
Oh, yes. So this took me a while to figure out because I really wanted a solid name from the start and I didn't want to like change my brand a whole lot. So I wanted something, rural was the first word I had. And I was like, I love, you know, small town, community, rustic. So then I kind of pulled rural and I was like, yep, working with that. And then I had this saying that I loved, no grit, no pearl. And I just was obsessed with that saying in high school. And then I thought, you know what if I just do Rural Grit? You know, put in the work, and once you put in the work, you're going to see the results. So then it just was Rural Grit Co.
took off from there.
Yeah.
I love it. So when you started to go into apparel and you expanded beyond just the stamped jewelry, did you start going to market, or how did you start adding in those items to your product line?
I have not been to market yet. I
Okay.
really want to go. That is in the next year or two. That's on my goals. But I just use the online platforms that they have for wholesale. And I do that. There's also some smaller businesses that you can find who wholesale on like Facebook and stuff. And those are always great too. You know, that's very family ran. So I love supporting those as well.
So after COVID kind of lifted and you didn't have to just do it online, is that when you started doing shows and different events and stuff like that?
Yes. Yep. So then I started doing pop-ups. So I would just take my mom's car. I'd load up boxes and racks. And she was usually my helper too. But yeah, load up her vehicle and I'd go to events and just I did a lot of fairs at first. Those were kind of the things I started with, and they were super fun. I loved going out to see the people. I still had all my online stuff, but just going out and making those connections in person, I really loved that. Meeting all these new customers, these new people, seeing you, telling their friends, or people come to this fair for a rodeo, but they're from like hours away sometimes. So it's just super cool to see all the people from everywhere come and see you.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was a big part of your brand growing?
Yes, for sure. For sure. And then I knew I loved the traveling side. Like people always ask me, do you want a brick and mortar? Do you want a storefront? And sometimes I do, but I really love just traveling to the people. I love traveling the way it is. So then when I get to incorporate my business with it and go sell my clothes and show people what I have, I just love it. So
I love that you chose not to do the brick and mortar, because I think a lot of times we think by default that's just the route you have to go. Do you think you would love it as much if it was like full-time, open every day, all that stuff?
I don't know. That is such a good question, because I think of it often what I would do if it was my full-time job. And, if I did have a brick and mortar, if I did storefront and traveled, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I love going to the people. It'd be a huge adjustment. It would be a very big adjustment. That's for sure.
I had always thought maybe it'd be fun to have a shop, Mm-hmm. And then I helped at one of my friend's shops for a whole weekend and it was really fun. But by the time the weekend got over, I was like, I couldn't do this every day,
Yeah.
So it was kind of a good trial run. But, we all have our own things that we're better at or that we like more. And for me, I'm like, that's not it for me.
Yeah.
So
there you know.
Yeah. So do you feel like COVID, did it help your business? I mean, I feel like that was a time where people were really shopping online a lot. They were almost looking for reasons to shop online.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it did. And it was kind of, my start. So not everything is figured out. I mean, you never have everything figured out.
Right.
But
yes.
You're always learning. But yeah, then when I was able to kind of go in person and just get out there, and then it all just started rolling. And last February, it's coming up on a year actually, my big goal was to get a trailer for my boutique. So now I'm a mobile boutique, which is super fun and different. I saw some people on like social media that had them. No one really around us has trailers like that.
They don't.
So I was like, it's different. I love it. It can, it's easier than just loading everything up, all that work of hauling everything, putting it back in the totes. So yeah, I can just have it all in one spot. And so I got the trailer, purchased it last February, and then in May, the first weekend last May, I had my first pop-up with my trailer in Geneva, Iowa, and it went so good. It was awesome. Having everything like set up, just seeing that dream and goal come to life, it was so cool.
Yes, I bet. And you have this great wrap around it and it looks super fun.
Yes.
Did you do a lot of research beforehand to be like, I got to set this up right?
Oh,
and make
yeah.
Sure? Yeah.
My dad and my brother were so sick of me by the end of it. They were like my main helpers, and my grandpa did a lot of the woodwork that's in there. But yeah, I had multiple draw-ups and screenshots, and there was a lot of just trial and error, or my brother and my dad, nope, that's not going to work. I'm like, really? I think it will. They're like, nope, trust me, it's not going to work. Find another way. So, it was a lot, but it was so fun too, getting to create that. And I still look back at the pictures and think like, wow, this was literally just a trailer and now it's my whole store, really,
Yeah. What was your first big goal that you reached? Do you remember that?
my trailer was just such a big one because like the first question people would always ask me when I was starting with my pop-ups was the like storefront question. Are you going to have a brick and mortar? Where would you do it? And even to this day, I'm like, I have no idea where I would do that at, but I just really knew I wanted to travel with it. So then my trailer was my main thing.
Yeah. So how far are you willing to go for people listening?
Actually, I just had a questionnaire on my Instagram about where people want to see me, and I had some people in Wyoming reach out to me. So that's fun.
Yes.
I thought, oh, that'd be a cool little road trip. But I do a lot of events in Iowa. I've been to Eastern Iowa. I did do an event in Grand Island, Nebraska. So kind of anywhere around the Midwest, I would say. It'd be a fun, yeah.
Do you have a certain number, like a quota that you hit every year? Like once you book this many, that's all you're going to take? Or are you kind of open?
No, I'm pretty open. It just kind of depends how my weekends lay out. Last year, I just counted the other day and I had 15 events that I did. So just kind of trying to grow with that each year and do at least the same amount or, a couple more, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you do a couple pop-ups and like events, right?
Yes.
Besides just the shows?
Yeah. Yep. So the past 2 years, I have done a event. It's at my house and it's just my holiday event. And then some other bigger events I do are the Roll Route Ramble, which is super fun. Yes. I love that one.
They've been on the podcast.
Yes, love them. The Geneva Market, they have a spring and fall market in Geneva, Iowa. And it's a great market. There's so many people. And then, I do pop-ups at fairs and stuff, or I will have little boutiques, businesses get a hold of me and say, hey, we're having a ladies' night or things like that. And they'll just see if I'm open and I can bring my trailer, or I also have a branding bar. I got that, I think 2 springs ago, I want to say. I got all my branding stuff in. It was kind of just something that fell in my hands, a local boutique. They were kind of going out and they had never used their brands and reached out to me and said like, hey, this is what we intended to do with these. It just didn't work out. Would you want to purchase them? And then I had never thought of buying them, never even looked into them. It never crossed my mind. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could do stuff with that. I sell cowhide, I sell leather stuff. So I thought we could make this work. And a week after I bought those, which was a little risky, but you got to take some risks in this business. I did my first pop-up in Dunlap of just my branding bar stuff, and it went so good. People love it. It's so different. Again, something you don't see around here a lot, or really at any of the other shows I had ever been to, I hadn't seen it. So that was super fun, a unique touch, and that comes along to all my trailer events too now. So yeah, people kind of know me with the branding bar in the farther towns I go, so that's fun.
So anything they buy can get branded. Well, maybe not. Maybe not everything.
Yep. So any of my wood, leather, cowhide, or I even have people like put their boot up on the table and, hey, can you brand this? And I'm like, absolutely, I can do that. So yeah, if it's real leather, real cowhide, wood, I will put a fun little brand in it.
I love it. Do you have a favorite collection?
Yes. I've been trying to incorporate more collections because people love them, but one of the favorites that I've done since the beginning is my farm collection, and people love it. Being from the small town, a farming community, people just go crazy for it, and it's always so fun to shop for and then just see people's faces light up when they're like, oh, I love this. Or I had a piece this past year that said grain cart driver, and someone was like, oh my gosh, I never see clothes for girls that say this. Like, I have to get it. So just things like that. That is definitely my favorite drop. And I'm trying this year to maybe get part 1 and 2 instead of just one part. So stay tuned for that.
Well, it's super cute. You guys will have to go online and check it out. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh, I love to scroll Pinterest.
Yes.
So a lot of the time, inspo will come from there, or I'll just see, like, I really like unique pieces. That's another thing I love when people come in my trailer and they say, I don't see stuff like this, or this is so different. I love that. That's what I'm going for, So those pieces, sometimes I'll find like a funky piece, and then in my head, I'm just like, okay, what can I do with this? So then, I might take that to the internet or social media and find influencers out there, or again, Pinterest, and kind of see different outfits, and then I'll just go from there with the buying, at least.
What was one of the biggest things you had to learn in this business that maybe surprised you?
One of the biggest things that I've had to learn is just kind of going with the flow, which sounds ridiculous, but I am a very like plan it out person. Have my planner, have my checklist. So going with the flow is kind of hard. And just like adapting. There's always things are changing in this business, and you're always trying to make your customers happy. So you really have to be on top of, just because I thought this plan would work, it's not always going to work.
Right.
Just because I thought this piece would sell, maybe it's the one thing I thought was going to sell 100%. I didn't sell one, So you just really have to always kind of go with the flow, be willing to change, and just meet your customers, all their needs.
Yeah. Have you seen styles change since you started? Like, have you had to pivot?
Yes. Yep. So there's definitely things that like when I started a couple years ago, that was like the main thing, that people would look for, they'd buy, and now you hardly see it.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's crazy how trends go in and out. So I try not to ever get anything like too trendy,
Right.
because trends are always changing.
Yeah. When you started, was that like when Yellowstone was just coming out?
Yeah, I think it was before that a little bit.
Okay.
I did.
So you were right ahead of the major
when
Yellowstone
country's
Western
cool now.
trend. Yeah, exactly.
I'm down for it though. I love it.
Oh yeah, I do too. It's been really cool to see it just take over the country.
Yes.
And so I love that you were already in that vein when that happened. What's been your best seller?
My best seller, it kind of depends because I try to keep like inventory moving, but if I have a bestseller, it was this super cute shirt. I still wish I would have got it, but I never did because I had to order so many. There is this jacket and this shirt. So this one little frilly top that my show stock girls loved. Got so many of those sold out one summer. And then also this past like late fall, I got this super cute little bow sleeve like paisley print quilted jacket. Went so good. So it's always fun to see what goes, So again, like I said, sometimes you'll get a piece that you love. You'll think it'll go. No one will buy it. Or something you're like, I don't know. People love it. So you just never know.
Yeah. What was it like learning how to buy inventory? I mean, to me, that's always like a big question mark, right?
Yes.
What do you buy and how much? And...
Yeah, I'm definitely still learning. That's like a big learning process, and not just buying what I think is cute. Yeah. Although I do love to, because so many people that come in my trailer, they say, we could see you wearing this, so how would you style this? And then that's why they want to buy it, like this is something you would wear. And I love when they say that to me. But so I kind of do buy things that I like because, the people who want to shop with me, they like my style. So like attracts like. But it's kind of just, it was a lot of trial and error at first. I have a better idea now. You just have to buy some, see how they like it. You got to find your customer. They find you too, they'll shop with you if they like your stuff. So yeah, like I said, definitely still a learning process, but once you kind of figure out what they like, you can tweak it and go from there.
I feel like you've become the model for the brand.
Yes. People, I feel like even if I try to get my sisters or my mom or my friends, people are always like asking, what does it look like on you? Which it's, if that's what people want to see, that's what they'll see. And it is nice to have my face with the brand, and then people know what they're, who they're working with too, which is super nice.
Yes. Well, you are so adorable. And so I feel like that is a big help to see how you style clothes. Because like me, I'm like, I need a personal styler.
Yeah.
I don't know what to pair together.
Yep. So many people are like that. Like, how do I style this? Or people will just message me even like, what else would you wear with this? And it's so fun, It's kind of like I'm your own little stylist sometimes.
Absolutely. I love it. What's the best part of your job?
I feel like there's a couple good aspects. I really love meeting all the people that I meet, whether it's customers or even other boutique owners from events. The Geneva market, like I said, is one of my big markets. I have met some really, really awesome other ladies there who also have trailers, so that's super fun. And it's just so fun because we're still friends. We still, are you coming to this event? Are you coming to this event? So all those connections you make with my customers, they will come from hours sometimes. Like, oh, we saw you're coming back here. This is the only time we shop with you during the year. Or they don't shop online. So then they're looking for you that day. And that's always such a good feeling too. They're there for you and your stuff. But yeah, I just love all the interactions I can make that way. And of course, the shopping too.
Yes. I feel like you have a good group of people around you. Like, has it been important to build like a core group of other business owners just to talk through things with and who understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur?
Yes. Yeah, it's super nice. I feel like locally we have really awesome small businesses and they're all super nice. If I ever have like any questions, I know I can just reach out to them, and everyone's so nice to me. Even at first when I was starting my business, I had some questions and everyone was so helpful and so nice to me.
Yeah. What are some of the best ways we as locals can help support a local business like yours?
Yes. So I love that question when people ask me, or if they're like, hey, this is so cute, but I don't get my paycheck till next week. I get that a lot. And I'm like, that's totally fine. Them just showing up, or social media is such a huge thing today and a big part in businesses. So even just a like, a share, things like that, if there's an event going on, or if like I post that I'm at an event, sharing that is super great. You never know who's going to see that. Even if you might not be going, you never know who's going to see that. So that's always super helpful as well.
What excites you most about the future of rural America?
Being a small town girl, I think just seeing what direction all the small towns and small farms go. Like I said, I'm from a farming family. I love it. I still help my dad. I run grain cart every fall. So it's super fun having that family operation. But I love to see, and like what you do, you're bringing small towns to life. I love that. I hope to see more of that. And feel like I've seen also in the past couple years, some small towns really come together. So if that continues in the next 10 to 20 years beyond that, I'm just so excited to see what that's going to look like. Let's bring those small towns back.
Yes. What advice would you have for somebody thinking about starting their own business?
I would say just start. You're never going to know everything. I hear a lot of people say, like, I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. You research a little bit, and then really it's a lot of just learning as you go. You're never going to have it all figured out. I hate to tell you, but it's, everything's always changing. You're always learning more, trying to be better, better your business, your side hustle, whatever the case is. So I'd say just start. And then once you start, keep going, be consistent. That's something I struggle with time to time, is consistency. But it's really a huge key in a successful business. Keep going and lean on your mentors, make those connections. Those help a lot too. Just knowing that, hey, I'm not feeling motivated this week, like reach out to one of them. And a lot of the time, they'll help you, or they'll give you a good little reset. And it's just, you got to keep going and stay consistent.
Yeah. That community of other business owners, I feel like, is such a great help for so many people.
Yes.
So, yeah. What's coming up for you this year?
Yes. So lots of planning right now, but I usually start pretty busy with my events here in May. And then I have a couple in May, and then throughout the summer, I'm really busy. And then I stay busy most weekends until October. And then I might have one or two in November. And I usually do, like I said, a holiday one and Rural Rat Rambles in December. So yes, that's just preparing for my next one is Geneva Market. That is the first weekend in May. So that's my next event, but just preparing for that, I usually try to kind of slow down after Christmas just to kind of regain everything, regroup, make sure everything's in line. All the not so glamorous parts of the business that people don't always see. But yeah, and then I just like to, go back strong and get consistent again and yeah, go from there.
Very good. How do we follow along?
Yes, so you can follow me I have Instagram, Facebook, also my website. I like to post. I have a page on there that says where I will be, when, and most of the information. And you can always just reach out to me, get a hold of me, direct message me. But my socials are just Rural Grit Co. So look that up and you should find me.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I know you've been a great inspiration to a lot of small businesses around here. So thank you for all that you're doing, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I love how Carli has grown this business and the joy she finds in connecting with people, whether it's customers or other boutique owners at events. If you're looking for a fun experience to add to your next event, Rural Grit Co. would be a great pop-up to add to the mix. You can find Carli at the links in our show notes, and be sure to go give her a follow. A huge thanks to Carli for being on the podcast today, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody.